everybody. Just pushing record here.
Sunday evening. Thank you for coming.
Let us know if you can see us and hear us okay. We were just chatting quickly with Melinda and there was a little bit of a lag. So we're going to do our best to navigate through that. So in the chat, you can type in, yes, I can see you, hear you, and let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah.
I know it'll be all across Canada, and Melinda has a lot of fans everywhere. So awesome. Welcome, everybody. So yes, Trailblazher Unplugged with Melinda. We're so excited to chat with her.
Yeah, you know, we met through Zoom, Melinda, in the fall, and really just right from the get-go, it's just like talking to somebody we've known,
An old friend,
all along.
Yeah.
And the interview went by so quickly, and then we were really blown away at the pictures that we got back from her photographer, and it was just so lovely to put her article together with the pictures. So we're just going to catch up with her tonight. We haven't talked with her. We just had 2 minutes now, but we're really looking forward to
getting an update.
Yeah, what's life been like? What's business been like?
Yes.
And,
yes.
Yeah.
So let us know in the chat if you can hear, and just want to make sure that that's good to go before we bring Melinda on. Okay, I'm sure it's fine. We'll just start. Okay, Melinda, come on back.
Come on back. We're assuming that everyone is there. So.
Hello.
Did you change your hair up a bit? Did you have before? Your hair looks a little different.
Yeah, I need to wash it.
Oh.
It's curlier. It's usually curlier, but I did straighten it like, I don't know, yesterday or the day before, but during COVID, who knows when you wash your hair last.
Oh, I know. The same with showering.
And
I had that.
Yeah, put one on for tonight.
I know.
But you know how that goes.
I feel like when we do these Unplugged on Sunday nights, it's like our only reason to put a little bit of effort into things. So yeah, the dry shampoo comes out, and I even spray on perfume, like just to make myself feel nice.
Yeah. Well, great to see your face again too. And you know, like we haven't talked, so I guess this question is, what was it like to receive your magazine in the mail and open it up and see yourself there in the pages? Like, I don't know what that's like, so I really am curious what that felt like.
Well, on one hand, it was surreal to be in a magazine, a national magazine, and it was wonderful. The pictures I was impressed too with the photographer's work. Steve and Emily are so good. Yeah, it was just really odd, really, to see myself in a magazine, but I loved it. Like, and it was nice to show people. But I do, you know, I'm not comfortable with getting my picture taken and videos, and I like being behind the scenes, behind my easel. I mean, people and thing, and I'm not shy or anything, but yeah, it was a little surreal, I guess. Yeah, but the magazine itself was beautiful, so thank you guys for that.
Oh, our absolute pleasure. I think you know, it's a huge difference with just how we put ourselves out there on social media and posting, and you know, there's still images or they're quick videos in our stories, but then it's a printed publication. Like this isn't going anywhere. So I would imagine, did you feel vulnerable, or was there a part of you that was just like a, you know,
wanted to pull it back?
Pretty good with it. I mean, yeah, I don't like looking at myself, but I was very proud to be in the magazine and to see with all those other women. And, you know, it was great. It's just getting more and more comfortable with interviews and social media, and you know, I do have a pretty good following on social media. But it's not too often you see me on social media.
Oh, okay.
It's usually a painting or, you know, a picture of the skyline or something. But yeah, I have to get a little better at that, because I know it's important for people to see the face behind the business.
Yes. Yeah.
Just my dog.
So I need to ask you the tried and true Canadian question. how's your winter been? How's the weather?
Well,
Are you having a good winter?
I think it's fantastic, but I'm in the hot flash stage of my life.
Okay.
So I'm walking the trail every morning and I've yet to have to wear my winter coat.
Oh,
Wow.
I understand that.
Yeah. Even though it's -12, if there's no wind, it's not really that cold, I find. So yeah, no, I've been getting out with my sister-in-law most days. We aim for 5 days a week to get out with the dog and go for a walk. And then I come back and start my day, and the fresh air does help with creativity and,
Yeah.
getting your day started. But so I don't really mind winter because I don't mind the isolation because I like to get more work done, and I could get 5 hours of studio time in one day because it's winter. Like it's harder when it's summertime and there's people around and events and different things. But I guess it's different with COVID. It's just a
Yeah.
whole different year. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
how has that affected your store hours and your business this year? Like what are
The regular
Yeah.
rituals and schedule of business?
how's that been affected?
I had a really good summer season because here in Nova Scotia, we had the Atlantic bubble. So we bubbled with other maritime provinces and our numbers stayed pretty low. So there were a lot of people from PEI, New Brunswick, all over the bubble coming to Cape Breton because it is a tourist destination. And where we
Mhm.
live along the coast on Route 19, there's just a lot of traffic. So I had a pretty good summer season in the shop, and then there was a bit of a lull, but then the fall came and there were a lot of people just from around the province that hadn't been to the Highlands before. So they were around the Cabot Trail. So
Okay.
I got that traffic too in the fall. So they were stopping in, and I had a pretty good season. And I think if I look back, I think I sold more artwork than I normally sell. And I
Oh,
blame that on people being home more, looking at their walls, doing renovations. I
okay.
don't know. And I've noticed watching the news and different things on TV, every interviewer on Zoom, they have beautiful art behind them. So I think there's a whole market for Zoom art. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. This is my latest idea.
Right. We won't tell the viewers what your Zoom art was before you came on.
Yeah, I had to take
Oh,
my
yeah.
art down. The bras were hanging on.
Yeah.
That's right. Wow. So a whole new trend of, I mean, because I don't even know, some weeks we have so many. So there definitely is. There could be that I'm home looking at the walls, and like we always try and reposition ourselves for our Zooms to have something,
Interesting.
Mhm.
interesting behind it. So
Yeah.
what a good point. Yeah.
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 You'll notice
Well,
now. You see it on TV, like everyone that's
Yeah,
doing
I
their
will look.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be looking for it
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
We're curious, what was your first impression? Because with Trailblazher, it's our mission to show the diversity in what rural looks like across Canada. So for you, how did you feel, or what was that like seeing all the different versions and landscapes and professions and industries of what rural is across Canada?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I wish I had it in front of me. Actually, I left it downstairs, but I loved how, all the women in the magazine were different, but yet the magazine had a cohesiveness about it, and that was
Okay.
really nice. Like just even the lighting and just the way all the pictures
Oh.
went together. But yeah, no, it was a wonderful thing to see the diversity of all the different women entrepreneurs in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, and that's neat that you say that, because there were so many different
I
photographers
know.
who kind of sponsored their time to do the photographs. And so for it to have a unified look, like that's
Mm.
completely,
Unplanned, but like
yeah.
Yeah.
it was a blessing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
unexpected.
but it
Yeah.
did all go
Oh,
together. It
from-
was a beautiful magazine, and I love the feel of the paper.
Yes.
Oh, that was
We
one of
print-
the first things that when we talked to the new printing company that we were going to look at working with, was we need
Thick paper.
paper.
Yeah.
We need a really heavy cover stock, and
Yeah.
probably, well, not probably, did cost a little more than your average newsstand, but we didn't want anyone to throw this magazine away. We just felt that these stories need to live on, and So yeah, that was one of the reasons we want it to be a collectible that people will get.
Cherish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
And so how has business changed? Like, we know what you've been getting to now, dipping your fingers into. So what's on the horizon for new avenues for Melinda by the Sea?
Well, Melinda by the Sea has many, many ideas. I wish I had started
Oh,
20,
good.
but lately I've been totally obsessed with learning surface design work. You know,
Yeah.
I touched a little bit of surface design with a company in Montreal that I was putting my artwork on their design templates. And so my tote bags and makeup bags, throw cushion covers, they all started selling really well. And I really love seeing my art on different products. So then I kind of looked
Yeah.
at, there's a few other companies like Redbubble and Society 6. They're the two big ones. And they have a lot of additional products. So I was putting my artwork on some of their products. And then I've always had a thing for fabric. I love fabric. I'll go into the grocery store, like Superstore, and I'll look at what their napkin designs are this season, their plates. And I go around the store taking pictures. I've done that always,
Yeah.
but I didn't really know what surface design was, but it was always
Yeah.
inspiring. Like years ago, I would buy a Kleenex box because it had a beautiful design on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm loving the design and it influences my ideas and paintings and stuff. So I
Yeah.
just kind of started looking at that a little harder and realized that I love patterns and designing digital work and, watercolors or any other type of painting. And then you can scan it into Photoshop. So now I'm trying to learn Photoshop, and which is a bit of a challenge. I don't have any kids at home to help me with the computer, but they're all grown up. But I'm learning. There's lots of tutorials and I'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
You might see my napkins at Joe Fresh one day or Superstore.
Totally.
Oh,
It seems like such a natural next step for your artwork. Like,
I think
that's
so.
like to put it to be unfunctional.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't know why I didn't think of it before, but I guess that's the natural progression of, as a creative. Like I said in the article, it
Yeah.
was 5 years ago, I started the paint night classes here. Well, I did it on my own, not with the paint night company. And then doing the
Yeah.
paint class led to selling more artwork, which led to opening the shop, which, now I'm in surface design. So I think it was a natural
Yeah.
progression. And I learned what I like to do and what I don't like to do. I sell a lot of jewelry too. I'm still making some jewelry pieces, but I'm starting to paint some of the jewelry now. Like I'm painting polymer
Okay.
and then putting resin over it and little watercolor pieces that I'm resining. Like, yeah. So the ideas, they kind of all overlap in different ways.
Yeah.
I think you're the epitome of what a creative is. Like, you could just, like, because there's so many mediums that you explore. And I think a lot of us can relate in that we just can't have enough. We want to try all the things and do all the things and paint all the
Yes.
things. And I mean, I'd be interested in a follow-up from a year from now to see
Yeah.
what it is that you.
Oh, I can imagine. I'll need 3 studios if I get any more supply.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I said it's a blessing and a curse. Like I have so many ideas and so many things I want to do, but I don't think one lifetime will be enough. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts moving forward? Because you're not open so much now, are you? Are you open at all these days, or
No,
one day a week thing?
I open in kind of end of June into July, and then I stay open
Okay.
until mid-October usually after our International Colors Festival here in Cape Breton. But
Okay.
this year, since I lost all the big Christmas markets and the big fall markets because of COVID-19, I decided to keep my shop open until Christmas. So I did that this year. Next year, I maybe will be back to normal and I'll just open till mid-October. But right now, there is a market in Antigonish, the Antigonish Farmers Market, which is on the mainland, about 40 minutes from here. So I'm there every Saturday. They're doing the reduced capacity, but it's going really well. And I mean, this is their slow season. This is the first time they've done a winter market. But yeah, I go up there from 10 to 1 on Saturdays, and it's been going really good. I'm really enjoying it actually.
I have to ask you, how are your Birdie Prints selling? Like, I saw you, like, you made that so fast, and I was like, wow, it's so good.
What is this?
Okay. Do you want to tell, or I'll tell her, or you tell her?
Go ahead. I'll find a picture to show her on Instagram.
So it was like, I think it was last Friday. That might have been the day the Bernie jokes were all over the internet. Bernie Sanders, him in his chair with his mittens, the mask on.
Okay.
So it was joke after joke after joke. And I had to go to the market early Saturday morning. So I was staying up a little too late Friday night. I was like, I have to get to bed because I have to, get to the market early. And then I just kept reading Bernie jokes. And I was talking to my sister, and then I quickly did a digital sketch, and I sent it to my sister. It was just a joke, but she thought people might actually be interested. So I'm like, oh, I'll throw it on social media before I go to bed. I'll throw it out there. And it was popular. So then I stayed up later again making prints, because I make my own prints on my Canon printer. So that I had some orders because I put it up on the website, and then I sold some at the market, and I took him for a few Saturdays, but I'm going to retire him now. I'll leave him on the website, but I'm not going to take him to the market. It was a fast and furious, and I don't know if it's going to continue, but that's it.
Yeah. Oh, but that's cool. I mean, what a way to just
hop on,
playfully take advantage of a fleeting, thing that's going on. Yeah, something trending. Yeah,
it was just lighthearted and funny,
Yeah. I'm just wondering if anyone who's online, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask Melinda?
Now is your chance.
Yes.
So just in the chat on the right-hand side, you can ask your questions, and Melinda will ask them.
Now, I don't know.
I was gonna. Pardon?
Am I supposed to see the questions, or are you going to read them to me?
Oh no, no, for the participants
we'll
watching.
We'll watch for them, and we'll let you know.
When one pops up, we'll read it for you. Do you ever miss the social and like the group aspect when you were doing paint nights? Because what you're doing now is so different, right? I mean, you still have people coming in your shop, but do you miss like that original offering?
Well, yes and no. Like, I had my regulars that came to my paint night classes, and I actually became friends with some people that I didn't know before. Like, so I did establish different relationships with people, and I do miss that. But the class itself, like doing the paint nights, they're a lot of work. Like, you have to drag all your supplies and get all the brushes ready, do the class, unpack, pack, to clean them up. Like, it's physically a lot of work, and I found it took a lot of time and a lot of energy that I do like to put more into the actual studio time. So I was trying to do them periodically, but the time just didn't seem to be there anymore. And then with COVID-19, I couldn't really do the classes so much. I did one, I think it was December or November, but yeah, for now, it's okay. Like, I don't miss it too much. I meet people at the market. I'm starting to recognize people. They know me. Pretty good following up there. So yeah, no, it's okay, because I love my isolation. I don't mind being alone time at all. But I do need people too, but I don't need to be out all the time. I don't want to make like people. Like, I do love people, but I certainly being locked away, the first part of the COVID-19 lockdown last year. It was when I discovered the cold wax medium, cold wax and oil. So I was completely obsessed. I didn't even know what was going on in the outside world. I'd lock myself in and make new work. So it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Oh, so it turned into a total opportunity. Yeah,
absolutely. And now I'm in some galleries with that work, and I'm going to apply to some more. And that wouldn't have happened unless I was locked down with a new medium.
Oh, I love that. I get goosebumps.
Way to make lemonade, eh?
Yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a question from Trina. She said, what is the most challenging part of your day?
Making a routine. I am not good with routine and schedules, but I find I need a little bit of that. I'm always setting my iPhone alarm, time to switch it up, time to do something else. But it's really hard because as an artist, today I might feel like working in cold wax, and that I'd like that to just sort of develop naturally. So maybe I'll get in there for 3-4 hours working on cold wax. So it's hard to tear myself away when I'm in the zone. But there's a lot of other do, I got to organize receipts and pay bills and do all the business stuff, which I procrastinate all the time. There's still, I'm home, my studio's home. There's still laundry that has to be done, supper that has to be cooked.
Yeah.
I try and get
Yeah.
exercise in. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to like take care of myself. But boy, how do you fit all that in?
I know.
Prioritize, and sometimes it just happens the way it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I want to schedule, not too scheduled.
Yeah. Are you an early riser or like a night owl?
I'm normally an early riser, but lately I've been sleeping in a little bit and staying up too late. But when I started doing the surface design on I was using Procreate on the iPad. And so I find
Okay.
looking at the screen, what I was doing is my husband and I are watching Homeland on Netflix. So we're sitting in the living room watching Homeland, and I'm on my iPad just doodling, making designs and patterns. But from looking at the screen, it keeps me awake. And because it excites me so much, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. And then 10:45. Like I never stay up that late, but then I'm going, yeah, it's messing me up.
Yeah.
we'll see
I know
where
it, yeah.
but
Like
I
the
do love,
whoops.
yeah, mornings is when I get most of my work done, but I'm trying to make myself go for the walk first. So that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could picture you. You could probably easily up in like coffee or tea, whatever your choice is. And if you went straight into your studio, you could probably just do that the whole day and not
Yeah,
take care, like,
don't do
and just
anything.
be totally happy.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, did I brush my teeth? I don't know if I brushed my
Yeah.
teeth.
Get so into it. No.
Yeah.
I know, because I started.
But that's exactly it. Having a coffee and then going in the studio is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Trina has a second question here. She said, has there ever been a day in the last while where you haven't been creating? And that includes painting, thinking of painting, etc., etc. Just a day to relax and have a coffee.
No. I may not be actually painting, but I can't shut my brain down ever. So, okay, one Sunday, my husband and I went for a drive. We just hit one of the beaches and beachcombing, just going here and there and everywhere. But I'm always looking at, even the dead plants on the side of the road have a pattern. Like, I just can't shut it off. I'm like, oh, I have to remember, or I'm going to take a picture of that. Yeah, it just doesn't ever really go away. But it's not a bad thing. Like it's almost like just filing it away in my mind as I see it, and then it comes out later on in front of Homeland, and then I'm staying up too late. But yeah, no, there is no day that it's never far from my mind. Yeah, I'm always creating some way or
But
Pinterest for a little bit, but I'm not always in the working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other things that would be not as great to be thinking about at any given time. So, I mean, that's a really,
you can immerse yourself.
and channel who you are and what you're about into something. And I mean, I don't see how that could ever be a negative thing.
No.
I mean, unless you had a newborn baby and you didn't attend to it. But I mean, really.
And I didn't really create. When the kids were little, I wasn't doing this. It's now that they're older. My youngest is in grade 12. He's graduating this year. So it's almost like I'm playing catch up. But I think artists, any creatives, we're lucky in a way that we have that escape and we can just turn it on anytime we want, I mean, as long as you still sell your work and make if you're doing it for a living, of course, you want to keep your sales up. But as a creative, I think I feel lucky that I can be immersed in that world.
Yeah. And, and the truth of it for women in being in different stages of life, like you're in the time where it's your time now. And I mean, what a beautiful opportunity to have, right?
Yeah.
That you just get to explore. Like that's cool.
It makes it easier as the kids are going off on their own and going to university. And if I had nothing else to turn to, like if it was only just me and the kids and then they left, and what would I do? But now I have lots to keep me busy, and everything. It's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Does your husband ever come into the shop when you're working and say, hello, come and see me?
he'll stop in, stick his head in the studio sometimes, pop in the shop. Well, where my shop is, the back part of the barn has one of, his lobster traps and some other things. So he might be working around outside and he'll pop in, or. So
Okay.
we negotiated space.
Okay. We're like real estate. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we've noticed, like, since meeting you last year, is how incredibly supportive the community is. And we mostly pay attention on Instagram, but you just have such a loyal, loving
I do. I
like
have
fan
wonderful
base.
followers. Yeah. And
You
I don't
do.
know. Is that unusual? I don't know. I feel like I
Well,
know my followers, and we chat, and sometimes we chat offline, and just really
yeah.
supportive people. Yeah, no, it is true. I've never
Because
had.
I was trying to say that again. It
Again?
cut out.
I said I've never had like any crazies or any arguments, or I've only had really nice, supportive other artists or other people from around the country. A lot of people that are former Maritimers that may live out in Alberta now, or
Oh,
and
right.
I think my Instagram gives them a touch of home, because I'm posting paintings that might be something that reminds them of home, or I'm posting the sunset in front of my house, or the Cabot Trail, or something like that. So yeah, I think that attracts a lot of people, because there's a lot of people from the Maritimes away and living around the globe. So
Mhm.
that could be part of it. Mhm.
Yeah, and your work is so emotional. Like, it's got such a depth to it. And like, yeah, so like what you said, that makes perfect sense, that seeing the landscapes would connect people back to home in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's the kind of work I like. I like making semi-abstract contemporary landscapes, but I often put little white houses in them, or little houses here and there. And I had a woman, I sent her a print the other day. She bought one from the website, and she said it reminded her of her childhood, walking to her friend's house, and there was always this little white house in the distance and the rolling hills. So it was really cool for me to make something that is somebody's memory. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's really nice to connect with people that way through your art, because when you're creating it, you don't know where it's going or what it's going to do for
Yeah.
people. But yeah, it was a surprise for me as an artist when these things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I just want to touch on what Aaron was saying. And he said, is it unusual for followers to be connected? Like, that part's not unusual, but I think your followers treasure you in the same way they treasure what you do. And that is unusual. That is not the norm for everyone. A lot of times we can follow someone and we're kind of, the appeal of that. But I think that people treasure you.
That's the
Yeah.
perfect word
Yeah.
of what we can see publicly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just really cool,
Yeah.
because as a bystander reading that, we get to be a part of that, and that just feels good for us as well to see those connections. And I like how you use the word connection. So you're not connecting with people at paint nights, but now you've got this new market where you're starting to see regular faces. So it's such crazy times we live in, but we find connection in many different ways. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful to hear that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, very true. Yeah. And I do make
Yeah.
a point, and it's genuine. And I think that's key. Like on my social media accounts, it's very rarely that I don't reply back to someone's comment. Like, I like to keep that engagement going, and not just for social media algorithms,
Yeah.
but I sincerely value what they say, and they're taking the time out of their day to comment on my page and on my work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is an authentic connection. And I think that is key.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what we're all craving and what we all need. Yeah.
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 And I think that you've got to there's a huge like artist community too that supports you.
Yeah. Every artist I run into is very supportive. They're not, they share their ideas and how they might have done a certain technique. Or I find in generally the artist community is very supportive. I've got to know a lot of artists that I didn't even realize were around here. It's like you don't know the world exists until you're in it.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
And I'd love to be able to make some, tutorials and stuff and classes in the future, maybe online, but that's quite a ways off yet.
2022.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We got to get through the surface design
Yes.
first.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn there. Yeah.
Are you using a Mac or a PC?
I was using a PC, but it was kind of small, and I found the PC screen harder to read the colors. Like my iPhone and my iPad were a little easier. So I found a website, or my photographer, and a different photographer than the guy that did the magazine. Another photographer that shoots my work, he told me about a magazine or a company in Ontario that sells iMacs and different Apple products at, they're like when
Okay.
businesses upgrade their
Okay.
offices, then they're selling off, maybe they're a year or two old. So I picked up an iMac at a really good price. So that's all
Mhm.
set up downstairs. Photoshop is downloaded, and I'm just going to start the
Okay.
tutorial tomorrow. And I
Okay.
use an app called Skillshare. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I love Skillshare. You can learn everything in Skillshare. So I subscribe for the yearly fee for the app. And there's a designer called Kat Cocolette, and she is helping me quite a bit. She's a graphic designer, I think, at one time, and now she's a popular surface designer. Like her work is in Target and different places. I'm learning a lot. Yeah, I can't say enough about Skillshare. Like it's wonderful. I'm learning a lot through there. So between that and the tutorials that come with Photoshop, I should be able to learn something.
No doubt you'll have it figured out pretty soon. Yeah.
So like back to that, like where do you envision some lines ending up? Like what kind of products, consumables, that kind of thing? Shh, oh, the dog.
Let's go let the
I
dog
bet you
out.
my dog that. Nope, she didn't lift it.
Oh, she'll get yours going, yeah.
Yeah, mine's on the bed. I think she's too
Okay.
tired. So what was that question again? What products?
Where do you envision some of your designs? Like what kind of products would you eventually like to see them on?
Well, I mean, right now I'm mostly looking at Society 6 and Redbubble products. There's a lot of other sites out there that I will attempt, but I'm learning. What I have to learn is to get the right file size and pixel size so the images aren't grainy when they're blown up. So that's kind of what I'm practicing now. But I'm loving like the tapestries and, oh gosh, the bed linens, the pillowcases, clocks. There's literally everything that you can put your work on. Now I did try a t-shirt, like some clothing. I'm interested in the clothing, but selling it from my website is a little tricky because of sizing. Like people would want to return because it didn't fit or was too tight. So, but on a page like Society 6 or Redbubble, they look after the returns and free returns and easy returns. So I might look at clothing on some of these sites, but yeah, gosh, you can do everything. You can put artwork on everything now.